morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the AdaptAbilities Breakfast. We'd like to get started in about 5 minutes. So if you could find your way to your tables, take your seats. We'll get started in 5 minutes. Thank you. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. We have an ambitious program today, and we do want to respect your time and make sure we know all of you are busy and have busy days ahead of you. We want to make sure we get you out of here on time. We'd like to get started in 1 minute. If you could take your seats, we'll get started in 1 minute. Once again, good morning to all of you. Just by a show of hands, who has been to the AdaptAbilities Breakfast before? Or you could applaud. That works too. A show of hands, applause. Either way. My name's Josh Clausen. I'm from CTV Edmonton. It is my honor to be your MC again this year. Thank you to the organizers for having me back. I've been emceeing this breakfast for a very, very long time. Back when we were in a much smaller ballroom, and now here we are in the Convention Centre, 600 plus of us gathered here today. AdaptAbilities is a fantastic organization, and if you're new to this breakfast, talked to a couple people on the way in who it's their first time here. If you're new to the breakfast, you're really going to be inspired this morning by what you hear. Before we get started, I do want to do a land acknowledgement, so if we could just ask those of you that are talking. I know everybody's visiting right now. You'll have time to visit here in a couple of moments after we sing O Canada and enjoy your breakfast. But I do want to respectfully acknowledge that we're on Treaty 6 territory. Treaty 6 territory is the traditional homeland and meeting place of diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Cree, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, Blackfoot, Dene, and Métis peoples. We recognize the many contributions of Indigenous peoples in our communities, both historically and contemporarily, and we commit to learning and working together in the spirit of reconciliation, or as Her Honor the Lieutenant Governor likes to say, reconciliation. One round of applause before we sing O Canada for the beautiful music that you walked into today, the Ram Trio. Thank you to the Ram Trio. Again, thank you for coming. Whether you are new to the work of AdaptAbilities or a longtime supporter, we really appreciate you taking some time this morning to be with us. A word about the generous sponsors who make this event possible and who make sure every year that the dollars that we raise here today go directly to the work that AdaptAbilities does. All of the businesses in this community that have donated money to make this fundraising breakfast possible, a huge thank you to all of you. Everything that you see in the room, the flowers and the food on your table, the images on the screens themselves, all of them have been paid for and provided by the sponsors who believe in the mission and the vision of AdaptAbilities. The sponsors want to make sure that your donation goes as far as possible and goes directly to fund the work of AdaptAbilities. So when you consider your donation later on today, when we do a call for action, you can be certain that your gift will go directly to the operational health of AdaptAbilities, quality programming, service delivery, expansion of program spaces, and anything else that's needed in those rooms to bring safety, progress, and joy to every participant. To our amazing breakfast sponsors, could we have you stand up so we can give you a round of applause? Breakfast sponsors. Now, to the rest of you, I ask if you're able to also rise. I want to introduce you to a very special guest who's going to sing O Canada for us today. This young lady's been a part of the AdaptAbilities family for 32 years, wearing a beautiful fascinator in lovely Canadian colors. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Andrea Eamon, who will lead us in the singing of O Canada. Excellent work, Andrea. Well done. Well done. Yes, you may be seated. As I mentioned, Andrea has been an AdaptAbilities program participant for 32 years, and here now to share that story is Andrea's mom, Claire Eamon.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. I'm Claire, Andrea's mom. You've met my daughter. She's never sung O Canada to music before. That was a first. Anyway. Thanks. Back in 1994, Andrew was starting kindergarten at our neighborhood school. I was really excited for this since the daycare was already inside the school. We lived just across the street. It was perfect. On registration day, I was there in line with all the other neighbor moms, all excited. I found it odd that I was the last to be interviewed. Our application was denied. They could not accommodate my daughter's needs. And there it was, my first of many hearts going out to me in apology. As I sat there in disbelief, I explained, "What needs? Do you have climbing apparatus? We live across the street." But it was no use. They could not accommodate my daughter's needs. I was told that there was no funding available for trained staff. My career ended in that moment. I went from a publishing researcher down to a research assistant, which was a huge pay cut. But I started looking for a school daycare combination that would take us. Finding a place that was not just welcoming, but glad to accept Andrea, that was our next goal. And I learned that places like this were few, and that inclusion was not a reality. Rejection seemed constant. I felt like I had lost my place in society. Our connection to the neighborhood was certainly lost. We ended up at inner city schools, and Andrea was bused to nearby daycares for the rest of her schooling years. By summer, we learned about a lady starting a special needs after-school site in the basement of her home. We went to check it out. This is where we met Victor, who you will learn about today, and a few others. I couldn't believe my eyes. Everything I found there that brought terror to the eyes of people at other daycares was absent here. And my sense of dread started to melt away. The kids were calm and playing well with each other. There were no holes in the walls, and all the kids were wearing clean clothes. Here we learned of the beauty of a low stimulation environment and how to mitigate and even prevent negative behaviors. We met Michelle and tried a week of summer camp. Well, it wasn't our last camp, that's for sure. Along with Victor, we are still with AdaptAbilities all these years later. And that's right, as Josh said, 32 years later. Now, for those of you doing the math, AdaptAbilities incorporated in 2004. There were 10 years she was just ours. As part of the disability community, there is a toll on us moms and dads that comes from the cycle of disappointment and rejection. And believe it, inclusion was what we were promised. I had stopped believing things would get better. I am not only a part of the AdaptAbilities family, I am also a donor. I am well aware of the load that is lifted off a parent's shoulders by these camp opportunities. Having your kid come home happy from a day of just hanging out with their friends is a relief. To stop worrying about our child long enough to go to work or even to just get the laundry done is a respite that is critical to my well-being as well as my child's. And the beauty of AdaptAbilities is I no longer have to apologize for being a burden. All I want is for Andrea to belong, the way you and I want to find a community where we belong. And AdaptAbilities is a vital organization that needs our support to make this a reality. I have to say thank you to each and every one of you in this room, and there are a lot of you. You have taken the time to share our story, and I hope today you will help us say yes to more families and more people in your community, like my daughter, Andrea. My daughter loves going to AdaptAbilities, except this morning where there's breakfast. That is absolutely worth it. Thank you.
Here I was standing there so I could get up here really quickly, and then I wasn't up that quickly. Thank you so much to Claire. Thanks to Andrea as well. Let's give her one more round of applause. Great job this morning, Andrea. And thanks to this Andrea as well. I know I'm not supposed to introduce you, but we're going to take a short break so you can have a quick little visit, and then we will get back with the rest of our program. Enjoy your breakfast. Enjoy the company. Back in about 10 minutes. Good morning once again. Can we have a round of applause to our sponsors for a delicious breakfast? Hopefully you're enjoying the food that's on your table. Again, a reminder that has all been provided so that all of the funds raised this morning go directly to AdaptAbilities, not to cover the cost of the food that you're eating. We'd like to continue on with our program, so at this point, I'd like to direct your attention to the video screens. If you could, please, the video screens for a beautiful message.
Sit. Sit. Sit down. Sit.
Hello, my name is Heather Smith and I'm Emerson's mom, and I guess now Lucky's mom, the dog. And Emerson was diagnosed with her disabilities a few years ago. We looked at respite care. We've used some other companies, and then we found AdaptAbilities, and it's been a great fit. Emerson has loved Saturday respite. We put in an application to be chosen, as there's 3 dogs that would be given, and thankfully we were one of the lucky ones, as his name is Lucky, to be chosen, and that's why Emerson picked his name. She's also taken responsibility of feeding him, playing with him, walking him. Emotions run high. The dog will come and relax beside her, put his paws on her for pressure, and bring a toy to her to play with, and she really, really enjoys that. This is the difference that donors like you can make. To tell you more about this amazing organization, please welcome AdaptAbilities founder and CEO, Michelle Hordal.
Oh my gosh, I just took a big bite. Isn't that something? Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful you are here this morning. When you gather a group like this, it tells me something important, that you care about community. And that's really where the story of Adaptabilities begins. Before I started Adaptabilities, I spent years as a teacher working alongside families of children with disabilities right here in Edmonton. And I experienced firsthand the quiet strength of parents advocating for their kids. And I noticed many of you sitting here today. So thank you for being here. And I experienced something else, incredible young people who simply needed the right supports to thrive. And that's why Adaptabilities exists. For over 20 years, as a not-for-profit or a for-impact organization, we have been creating inclusive, supportive environments for children, youth, and young adults with disabilities. And what began as a small summer program has grown into year-round services that continue to support thousands of families across the community. Like you, we believe that every individual deserves the opportunity to build independence, confidence, and meaningful relationships regardless of ability. And today we offer after-school programs, respite services, and life skills programming, activities that inspire transformation. A young person learning to advocate for themselves, a teen making their first true friend, a parent taking a deep breath because they know their child is safe, included, and valued. But let me talk about the community needs versus our capacity. In Alberta, families of children with disabilities face long wait lists, limited funding, few inclusive recreational options, and employment impacts. Do you have any idea how many people have to leave the workforce to care for their children because they can't find appropriate care? The statistics are shocking. 54% of families experience employment impacts. 47% reduced their work hours. 30% were forced to quit work at some point. And 26% declined promotions or better jobs. And did you know siblings are often relied upon to care for their brother or sister with a disability and sacrifice parts of childhood that we all remember fondly? Sports, music, playing with friends, and that is just sad. As the need continues to grow, the funding hasn't kept pace. And Adaptabilities operates through a blended revenue model, and we're grateful for our partnership with government and their funding, but it's restricted and not enough. Were you aware that parents must jump through a complex series of hoops to get approval for funding to access our care? And government funding only covers a portion of the true costs necessary to provide a high standard of care. Individual donations from people like you ensure we can continue to bridge this gap, innovate programming, expand capacity, and never turn a family away due to financial barriers. And transparency matters to me deeply. As founder and CEO, I am a donor. I believe in investing personally in the work I am asking others to believe in. Our board gives, our leadership team gives, our community support team gives. Because we know that when we contribute ourselves, we lead with integrity. Every dollar entrusted to Adaptabilities directly supports our expansive and meaningful programs, team training, and expanding access for families who need us most. Adaptabilities has served over 2,800 people with disabilities and their families since inception, which equates to over 3.3 million hours of support. And Inclusion Alberta estimates that there are approximately 12,000 children waiting for provincial funding to access care, and some have been waiting for over 3 years. Government funding covers the cost to hire our community specialists to work directly with the people we support. But what government funding does not cover are our beautiful and welcoming respite centers, which are purpose-built for the specialized services we provide. Our spaces include a state-of-the-art sensory gym at Orange Hub, sensory rooms, full kitchens for teaching life skills, and a variety of recreational activities from gaming and reading to puzzles, arts, and crafts. Adaptabilities is a safe, nurturing, and supportive environment where families have peace of mind leaving their children in our care. and our work extends out to your community. It's vital that people with disabilities participate in community because everyone has the right to belong. Individual donations support activities in your community like swimming and wall climbing, visiting museums, and transportation and admission fees, and we all know this costs money. The government funding specific to administrative and operational costs we receive from persons with developmental disabilities, PDD, has remained the same since 2018. What used to be 18.8% has now been diluted to 11% due to AdaptAbilities almost doubling our size to meet the realistic demand for quality care. Business people in the room, and I know there are a lot of you, can you imagine running your business on 18.8% op costs, never mind 11%? Your donation is in the smile of a child who comes to camp unsure and leaves with a best friend, in the confidence of a young adult who masters public transit for the first time, in the relief of a parent who says, this is the first place my child has truly belonged. And that's what your support fuels. Our future is about thoughtful, sustainable growth, expanding programs, reducing wait lists, and creating more opportunities for young adults as they transition from school into community life. Because inclusion doesn't stop after graduation. You can help build a community where people of all abilities are celebrated, families feel supported, and young people know their potential is limitless. And that takes people like you, people willing to listen, learn, and step forward. Not because you have to, but because you are moved to invest in possibility and help build a bridge to belonging. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Heidi and her son Schuler, and this is their story of belonging.
Schuler is my youngest of 4 children, and he was diagnosed with autism spectrum when he was about 2.5. I find motherhood, even without a special needs kiddo, is an exercise in self-doubt. Having a kiddo with special needs, it's an ultra marathon. And so pacing yourself and trying to keep your strength and endurance up can be really challenging. AdaptAbilities has given us a space where we can kind of catch our breath and recharge. The staff are unreal. They totally restore your faith in mankind. Sometimes we'll get emails or pictures or videos. He was karaokeing Eat It by Weird Al Yankovic the other day. It was amazing.
Had a banana, had a whole punch, had a banana, you love lunch.
I just have so much confidence in their abilities. They're on your team. The communication is there. They align with you, strategies with you so that you can have continuity between the different environments, and it's just going to be more successful for Schuler. It's hard to articulate exactly how much of an impact it can have. Having a kiddo with special needs, being out in public and going to new places and all those things is really, really hard. It's very isolating. To help the most vulnerable people in our society is a reflection of a good, well-structured society. Now, almost 2 years later, the most beautiful thing that I've noticed in Schuler is he totally has found a sense of belonging. He's accepted for who he is and how he is.
Apples moving, kiwi, pears moving.
As a mom, that just makes me feel like, yes, this is where we need to be, and I want this for every family that needs it. AdaptAbilities has given us the space to be a family again.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here at this year's AdaptAbilities Fundraising Breakfast to share my family's story with you. My name is Stephen Hsu. My other given name is Victor's dad. My son is 38 years old. At his infant age, he has been diagnosed with developmentally delayed, ADHD, and other physical and learning disabilities, including eye issues, walking, language, and speech difficulties. During elementary school, we had to hire a special speech specialist to teach Victor how to talk while he was skipping physics classes. When Victor became a teenager, he was attending L.Y. Cairns, a special needs high school in Edmonton. That's where we met Michelle Hardell, who hosted a promotional booth at the school's open house. Perhaps it was just destiny. This meeting with Michelle happened at a time when we were desperately looking for a suitable program for Victor besides school. My wife, Serena, over there, and I were impressed by Michelle's explanation of the AdaptAbilities program. For example, for outdoor activities, all program participants sit together and get to choose, plan, and decide where to go, what to do as a group. To make a long story short, Victor became one of the earliest clients of AdaptAbilities more than 20 years ago. He joined AdaptAbilities when he was 16 as a part-time participant. Today, Victor is a full-time participant in the AdaptAbilities Community Connect program. Even when he was in his late teens, he was shy, timid, reserved, and has no sense of time and the meaning of responsibility. Fast forward to the present. Victor has learned how to read and write. Although at the elementary school level, he knows how to cook simple meals such as preparing breakfast. He enjoys music, dancing, and bowling. Most importantly, he understands what responsibility is, being punctual, respect, teamwork, and helping others. With the above learned qualities, Victor is now working part-time at a Tim Hortons, many of you know. To our family's surprise, me and my wife don't even know how to ski. He has developed a keen interest in the alpine skiing program through Special Olympics. After 10 years or so, not only he had won some medals locally, he was selected to be an athlete on the 2025 Canada Special Olympics alpine skiing team representing Canada. In the 2025 Special Olympics Winter World Games in Italy. What transformed a special needs child to become a happy-going, socially responsible young adult today? I would categorically say the leadership team under Michelle Hardell, the entire staff, and the AdaptAbilities program all contributed to Victor's success. Without them, I cannot imagine what a different person Victor would have become. Needless to say, my wife and I would have never thought Victor could be hired and is working in a paid job over the past 10 plus years. I give back to AdaptAbilities. As a board member and monthly donor because of the gift they have given to our family, because they are champions of the disability community, and to ensure no matter what obstacles come their way, and no other families and kids have a chance to reach their full potential, like our son Victor. Thank you so much.
Phoenix was diagnosed with autism at 2.5, and we were looking for someone to take care of him that we would be able to trust that he'd be well taken care of. And he also got a break from us as well. Phoenix has been coming to AdaptAbilities for about 12 years. He was just over 3 years old. He was one of their youngest participants they'd ever had.
So my mom is a tough woman. Yeah. I made a lot of friends at AdaptAbilities. My friend Emilio, we used to make comic books. We go on field trips, we take trains.
The staff are really flexible. They're really great, making sure that they're following the information that I've given them on how he reacts in the community.
And rules.
And following the rules. Over the years, Phoenix has really changed and grown, willing to try different food, activities. It's nice to see him grow and stretch his boundaries like he has. I'm pretty proud.
Were you crying? Are you okay?
I would definitely recommend AdaptAbilities to other families. They get to go on these great field trips and adventures together.
Smash that like button if you want to jump too.
It's nice that he can come somewhere where there's such a variety of different people and participants that he feels that he belongs and that he can be a little unusual and be different, and it's not such a big deal.
It's okay, Mom. I'm here with you.
Thanks, man.
Good morning. It's fantastic to see so many of you out here this morning, especially on an early morning. Good morning. My name is Gary Stebner. At AdaptAbilities, I am affectionately known as Perry's dad, and I'm very proud of that. You know, as parents, from the day that children enter into our lives, we all have something in common. We become very protective, and we always desire the very best for our children. Perry was born with Down syndrome, and throughout his life, Elizabeth, my wife, and I tried our best to have him into programs that assisted in his development and helped him to live an independent life. Several years ago, we were introduced through a board member, Stephen Sue, and through several interviews and a process, we found that AdaptAbilities became a natural fit for Perry some 10 plus years ago. Perry attends a full day program Monday through Friday at the Orange Hub, where he has a design program catering to his lifestyle, physical, and mental needs. Adaptability is a huge part of his life, and more importantly, he is very happy, a very content individual, and he has full inclusion. Perry is well loved by the staff, and we as parents are very assured that he's well looked after. I have a saying, and I repeat this often, and it goes like this: it takes special people to look after special people. AdaptAbilities is special people. And it takes special people, donors like you, to ensure that AdaptAbilities remains a long, stable support for persons with disabilities. Whether you care for someone who is disabled or know someone in your family, a friend, coworker, or neighbor, you know that these programs and spaces must continue to not only grow, but to remain effective, thoughtful, and lead to possibilities. Just think of Andrea the vocalist, Victor the Olympian, and Perry, a good friend to both. The time has come for your participation. You've heard many challenging and wonderful stories, but it's your time to participate in the program. Table hosts, please pass out the envelope. To each of your guests, your pledge cards are inside the envelopes. You can donate using whatever method you want. Scan the QR codes. And whatever generation you are, you can use cash, a check, credit card, or even gold coins. Every donation over $5 will receive a tax receipt. There are AdaptAbilities staff that can take payments by Square. Apparently for us older generation, that's an app. And those in the room right now, they are wearing the bright yellow bucket hats. I think they're out there. Wave them over if you wish to donate that way, and that's donating by Square. To ensure you receive a tax receipt, please provide your name, address, and contact information so that we can stay in touch. As you prepare your donation today, I draw your attention to the screen. Birdies for Kids presented by Ultralink. Donations will be matched up to 50%. As a reminder, AdaptAbilities has served 2,800 people with disabilities and their families through over 3.3 million hours of support. Just think of that for a moment. It's amazing. There are approximately 12,000 children with developmental disabilities still waiting for provincial funding to access care. Imagine if that was one of your children. Your gift today can bring this number down. You can join the Circle of Champions monthly donor club or make a one-time donation. There's a QR code for each, and some donation options are on the pledge card. And they vary. There are many different options which could accommodate your specific needs. Or, you know what? We all love surprises. Dig deep, surprise us all with a gift of your choice over a time frame of your choice. There's several one-time donations, and they're all listed on the card inside the yellow envelope, or green. Again, surprises. If you usually make this a year-end, or this organization a year-end donation, consider giving that gift today, knowing that the impact of your donation starts early. Once again, donations will be matched up to 50% by Rogers Birdies for Kids, presented by Ultralink. No matter the amount or the frequency, we appreciate your donation. When you've completed your pledge form, please put it back in the envelope, give it to your table host. A heartfelt thank you to all of you for making a donation. God bless you.
Thank you, Perry's dad. And to all of the other families that have shared, whether it was through video or up here on stage, can we give them all a big round of applause? We're done early, ladies and gentlemen. I could talk for 15 more minutes, but you probably don't want to hear about that. It's going to be hot for the next couple of days, 25 to 30-ish, just a slight chance of scattered showers, thunderstorms. One more reminder, make sure you give your pledge form back to your table host or pass it to a volunteer on your way out. The centerpieces, the beautiful centerpieces there, I will leave it to you to decide who from your table deserves it the most. You want to arm wrestle over it? I don't care. Do whatever you want. But those are, make sure someone from your table takes that centerpiece home. If you have any questions about Adaptabilities and the programs they offer, you can stop by the table right near the exit doors. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors. For video production, from freelance producer and director Jesse Shuchuk, videographer and editor Christina Monet with Lifesong Films. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Thanks again to the Adaptabilities team for having me out to MC this breakfast. Save June 3rd, 2027 in your calendars, and we'll see you back here next year. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
The hours go shorter as the days go by. Never get to stop and open our eyes. 1 minute you're waiting for the sky to fall, and next you're dazzled by the beauty of it all. Lovers in a dangerous time. Lovers in a dangerous time. These fragile bodies of touch and taste, this fragrant skin, this hair like lace, spirits open to a thrust of grace. Never a breath you can afford to waste. Lovers in a dangerous time. 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 When your lover's in a dangerous time, sometimes you're made to feel as if you're